get started on the control panel now. So let's just do some before work here. Take a look up close. You can see I've got it all removed. And really the control panel, for being as old as it was, and I'm not sure if this one was original to it, the overlay, because it isn't the one that you usually see with the Centipede arcade. It's actually not in horrible shape, but there's I don't know if we can really tell here. Let's see if we can get focused. Try to focus this. There we go. You can see a little bit of cracking here along the edges, and it's dirty and stuff. You know, I was doing a little bit of cleaning on it originally to see what it looked like underneath. But the buttons still worked, and so I'll be able to reuse those. This button worked fine, but it's pretty dirty, so I just rather than try to clean it up, I just bought a new one for a few bucks. So I'll replace that. I already have the overlay, new overlay from from Arcade Shop. Let's just take a look. I'll be using all the mechanical parts are still working. So we're gonna get to work on taking these pieces out today, and I'll get it to a point where I can take the old overlay off. Focus it again. There we go. And I think what we'll end up doing, I'm going to clean these cones up, and we'll see just how those look here in a few minutes. I might be able to. I might be able to not have to do any paint on them at all, but I'll end up reusing them. So this is gonna be fun. Should look really nice when it's done. All right, so here it is. It took a little while, and it took some several different things, and I even let's see. You can see that I racked my knuckle pretty good using a putty knife, sliced it wide open. So what I ended up doing, I took the sticker off. It took a little while. The overlay, I just used a putty knife and pulled it off. But of course, that leaves all the residue. See the back side here. That's the underside. It leaves the residue, so then I had to get that off. Ended up using acetone. Just using some acetone, and I would slather it on there and then use a knife to scrape it away, and then eventually got it to a point where most of the adhesive was scraped off, and then I used a combination of a belt sander with a high grit and a random orbit sander to take the rest of it off. So I only did I only did that to the part, and that was that had the adhesive on it. And on the inside, all I did is just kind of wash it off, get all the dirt off because of years of dirt underneath there and stuff. So, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some coats of black spray paint on there, get it back looking the way it was before, and I'll have to let that dry thoroughly, of course, before I put the new overlay on, which I'll show later in the video. But man, that was kind of a lot of work. I didn't anticipate that much work taking it off, but it's done. And I wiped it all down again with acetone to clean it all up. I think I just used an 80 grit, and I don't have any need to. The paint doesn't have to be all pretty or anything because it's going to have that huge sticker placed on top of it. So I'm going to get going, put a coat on there, let it dry thoroughly, and be painting for a while. And I'll come back later, see how that looks. Alright, got it all painted up now. Brought it inside so I can start working on it. Let's just see here real quick. Here's the overlay I bought from Arcade Shop. Alright, so we'll end up putting that on here shortly. I already cleaned up the the cone button bezels for the 1-player, 2-player input, and went and cleaned up the LEDs, the outside of them too. They were kind of gunked up from probably never being cleaned before. So we got that. We'll be installing a new button again, there's the old one. Let's see, what do we got here? My box of goodies. Those are leftover parts. Let's see. There's the. Oh, it's hard to see this. But yeah, there's the new button. We installing that. And I suppose that's about it. So there's the trackball over there. I already had that in another video. So we'll get going on this and check back in a little bit. Okay, all done. New control panel overlay is in place. The rebuilt trackball is mounted. The new fire button that I bought is in place. Cleaned up the cone bezels around the 1 and 2 player fire buttons, and she is all done now. The control panel all set and ready to go back in. All the new wiring into place. No, it's not new wiring, just put it back, reattached it to the mounts down below, and yeah, I mean, it turned out pretty good. I can clean that up a little bit. A little bit of leftover stickiness on there, but wow, looks brand new. Can't wait to get it on there eventually and start playing it. Thanks for watching, everybody.